She comes and goes. She comes and goes.
Holly, 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 chameleon.
If only it was like my dreams. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Hey, welcome, Cable Maniacs. This is Uncle Nasty back in the studio.
And I'm Brendan.
Yo, let's take a minute here and thank our sponsor,
RPGRN.com.
Thank you, RPGHiring.com.
Building people, changing lives.
Always.
What's today's topic?
Today's topic is a movie review, but not just any movie.
The Batman.
The Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Anyway, so Batman. We went and saw it yesterday. Early preview. That's right.
And we had like a whole event. Like we tried to make it special for everybody in our local area here.
Yeah.
Super awesome. You'll see some interviews coming up after this.
Yep.
Let me say, loved it.
Yeah, I have to say, Brandon, I went in with I did this a little opposite. I was like, it's going to be horrible. That's how I went in on this movie, and it wasn't. So I left the movie very happy, very pleased.
I did not think of Twilight once while watching Robert Pattinson be Bruce Wayne / Batman. It didn't ever happen. I didn't see any sparkles.
Nope, never, not one time.
So I'm excited about that. Riddler, Paul Dano.
Man, let's just say it's not your typical Riddler that you're going to see in the cartoons or the comic books and how he's been portrayed before, but I liked it.
He was like a serial killer, like the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, yeah.
Very unnerving performance, which is a good thing. That's what you want out of that.
Right.
Very unnerving.
Yep, and he had his... Oh, by the way, in case y'all don't know this, because it's a review, spoiler alert, people, he had his social media game strong. The Riddler did. He literally had his whole little army.
Yeah.
500, at least 500 people that we know for sure, because that's how many followers they said he had. Was 500.
Yeah, super strong following. Very intelligent, but very crazy. Always seemed to be a step ahead of the Batman.
Always. And as a matter of fact, as his plan unraveled, you come to find out that he considered Batman part of his team, that he was using Batman as a tool to make things happen.
And then to his surprise, he wasn't.
That's right. So we have an intelligent Riddler. Thank goodness. It's always good to have some, comedic relief, when it comes from characters like that. And we got that. We did get that from him, but it was just slight. But it was closer to the end of the movie. Colin Farrell is another actor we want to mention because a lot of people aren't going to know this if you didn't look to see who was playing the roles. He was Penguin.
The makeup was totally transformed him. And obviously when he got the makeup on, he found the voice.
Oh, gosh.
He found a voice for it, and you didn't even know it was him.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I honestly, like I say, I went in this movie kind of blind. So, I knew Robert Pattinson was going to be Batman, and I knew Zoe Kravitz was going to be Catwoman. But other than that, I didn't really know who was going to do what, and I kind of liked it like that. I wanted to be surprised, and I was very, very pleased. A guy that we had come into the Alfred role was a guy that's normally a bad guy.
Yeah, Andy Serkis, Gollum.
Yeah.
The guy from Black Panther, I forgot his name.
Yeah, the dude that's crazy about stealing all the metal.
Yeah. But he did great with Alfred. He didn't have like a ton of screen time, but when he was there, he was impactful.
Yeah, he had a strong screen presence. Quick thought for me. This is a year two Batman. He's a baby still. One of the things that I enjoyed the most personally was you could tell that he was growing. Like there was times where he was nervous. There was times where he showed even a little bit of worry, like maybe being scared of heights. Try not to spoil too much.
And if you want to really get like what influenced the movie, there's 3 graphic novels. You don't want to try to get the single issues. That'd be hard. You want to get the graphic novels. You want to get Batman Year 2. You want to get Batman The Long Halloween. And you want to get Batman New 52, The Court of Owls. Those 3, you could tell if you've ever read those before, heavily influenced the movie. They weren't exact adaptations, but they took elements from each of those different stories and put them into the movie. So if you're looking to try to get like a comic background to see where all the stuff came from or where they get some of the ideas from, those are the 3 I would go with.
And anybody that is thinking that this was going to somehow tie into the Joker movie, I'm sitting here glad to tell you that I do not think that is what's happening. We get a glimpse of the Joker at the end of the movie in Arkham talking to the Riddler from cell to cell.
You don't see his face; you just see sort of an outline, but you know who it is.
Oh yeah, you know who it is because he lets the laugh out.
Yeah, lets the maniacal laugh out. We'll see where it goes from there with the next Batman because they're going to do another one because this movie is going to be popular. Some of the people we had at the early premiere said they were going to come back and see it again.
Yeah.
So if there's people going back to see a movie twice, it's good. It's going to do well.
Especially a 3-hour movie.
Oh yeah, 3-hour movie. Someone's going to see it twice. It's going to do well.
Yeah. The movie takes place over a 6-day span. It's 6 days of Batman and not a lot of Bruce Wayne time, which I'm okay with that. Really, it's a Batman movie. It's not a Bruce Wayne movie. I'm going to say 70% of the movie, or 75, maybe even more than that. It was Batman on screen, and he is the detective, more like the detective Batman than we have seen in a lot of these movies. He's trying really hard to figure stuff out. Granted, he does have help, but you can tell that it gives the Detective Comics vibe.
Yeah, he was definitely doing a lot of investigating. He was intelligent in solving the riddles. He just did a lot of investigation, but it wasn't like it was interesting.
Yeah,
it was interesting, watching him, go through all this and try to figure everything out. So it was interesting in that way. Even though it was 3 hours, I never felt like it was too long. Even though I do believe some people will feel it's too long. I did have some women from the audience said that it was too long.
Right.
But I think most people are probably going to feel like it's probably inappropriate because they didn't dwell on one thing too much because there was a lot going on, but you can still follow it. Does that make sense? There's a lot going on. Sort of like, like Game of Thrones at the beginning, there's a lot going on and you can't follow all of it. This wasn't like that. There's a lot going on, but it's easy to follow.
We had a new spin on Catwoman, sort of. Not your typical high-class type person. More grunge, definitely more of a urban type feel to Catwoman. She was, by all means necessary, she was a bartender. She wasn't your aristocrat.
Right. But she's young.
She is young.
So she can get to that point.
She's a baby.
It's year 2.
It's year 2.
Year 2.
Let's not put too much pressure on them.
Zoe Kravitz is.
She can walk, boy.
She's looking good.
Yeah, we gotta get them heels on her.
Yeah, but she did a great job acting.
Yeah,
there was a good balance of. There was tension between them, but you could tell they still had respect for each other and liked each other, but they have just different ideologies on how they go about things.
Right. It leaves room where I thought that there might have been a little slack in only in that area between him and her. I felt like the character development could have went a little deeper maybe, or lasted a little longer, because it almost seems like they were barely getting to know each other, and the next thing you know, they were this close to kissing. I feel like there could have been a little more between them two, but I wasn't disappointed. It wasn't so bad that you were like, oh, what's going on here? But it leaves room for the character development between the two characters.
So what would you rate the movie?
I would rate the movie I'd rate it a solid 8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10.
I would, and I would go. I'd give it like a 8.5 if I didn't feel. And this is my one gripe. If I have a gripe, this is it. I feel like his Bruce Wayne was still too quiet and reserved. You don't want your Batman to be found out. You don't want Bruce Wayne, so there was always that element of he was, completely different. He acted different. He did different things. But in this movie, he seemed like the same guy, whether the mask was on or whether the mask was off.
Year 2.
Right.
He hasn't figured it out yet.
Right. That's it. That was, if I had a gripe,
Okay.
that was the only one I had. The Batmobile, though, I do want to mention that before I let my time go and let you tell what you think. The Batmobile.
Yep. It did. I want the car.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I want that engine.
When he come up over the semi and the fire.
When he first started up outside the warehouse, I was like, ooh.
Dum, dum, dum. You hear the jet engines cranking up?
Yeah.
Impressive. So what did you think?
I gave it a 50 out of 52.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. We've got some little interviews of people in our community that got to go see the movie, and we caught them red-handed on the red carpet right as they was walking out. Hope y'all enjoy it.
Check it out.
So what do you think about the movie?
I think it was pretty good. They did a lot with the Riddler and all that. They didn't give him the classic ditzy look with all that. They made him evolve, and pretty good all the way around. Pretty good. I didn't have my words quite drawn now, but it's pretty good.
So what did you think about, to me, I mean, I looked at like this Batman is really just in the beginning stages. I mean, he wasn't a great fighter like you've seen in the past.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
I noticed they did it just like the year one version, like they did with the animated ones and all that. They got the more detective in it. They're starting fresh instead of just delving us into, okay, this is Bruce Wayne, this was happened. He's Batman now. They let it draw out a little bit. That's nice.
I like that. I liked it a lot. I think that's going to be, something that's going to be, I'm saying we're going to see him evolve more and more and more. I think we're going to see more of the Batman.
Yes, sir. And I caught the Easter eggs in there too.
Yeah.
The little. I'm not going to spoil it.
It's okay.
I caught the Easter eggs.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I also think that Bruce Wayne looked like a sad, pathetic, emo goth child through the whole thing. But it was good action, man. A lot of fight scenes.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts? I really like it. I really like that we don't see Bruce Wayne much in this one. I like that he kind of embodies vengeance and basically lives in the shadows. It's kind of has a little bit of insomnia.
It's a different twist on Batman.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And him starting out, he has to like rewatch everything and remember stuff. It's hard for him to keep track of everything.
Very, very much out of the Arkham games, kind of the detective mode.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things.
Oh
about
yeah,
this.
I loved every second of this.
Oh yeah. What were your thoughts?
Well, it was when Batman fight the guys on the tall building. Yeah. And when Batman's car flew to the fire. That's my favorite part.
I liked this car too. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the movie?
It was cool.
I really enjoyed the movie. I appreciate Gabe's Cape for coming out, doing all this for us and everything. Everyone needs to come out, watch the movie and everything. Lots of twists, lots of turns. Pretty exciting. Music, everything was great.
What you think about the Batmobile?
Batmobile was awesome.
It was
very,
awesome.
Very, very, very awesome and everything.
The movie was great. As good as any of the Nolans.
As any of the other ones?
Any of the Nolan movies, the trilogy.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. Well, there you go.
Very much worth the watch, just like reading a comic book.
What'd you think about the Batmobile?
Love the Batmobile.
Love the Batmobile. All right. Thank you, sir.
It.
I like the movie because I like Catwoman. I think that's her name. And I liked the part where Batman and Catwoman kissed and where all the water spewed in and the electrics just fell in. I just love the action part.
Action. Thank you. What was your favorite part?
I loved all the Easter eggs. I was really big into the Hush stuff when it came out.
Love seeing all the comic book artists' names up there on the end and the credits and stuff. It's a really good movie, though. Really dark and gritty. I love the year one stuff in it. It's really good. I enjoyed it.
All right. Appreciate it, man. So what did you think about the Batman movie?
I really liked it. It was cool, and yeah.
What was your favorite part?
The coolest part to me was when they were going through traffic and he was in the Batmobile and he just like jumped off the explosions and stuff. I liked that part.
I liked the landing gone wrong.
Yeah.
When his parachute.
Yeah, I also like that part.
Yeah. So you did enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, thank you very much, young lady, for coming on this YouTube show. That's my stepdaughter.
My favorite part of the movie was whenever he was beating up the snipers.
The snipers?
Yeah.
That was your favorite part?
Yeah.
What was your second favorite part?
Whenever he hit the guy in the car and the car started flipping over.
What'd you think about the Batmobile?
It was really cool.
Do you want one?
Yeah.
Me too. What'd you think about the new Batman movie?
It's really good. Actually, Pattinson really changed my mind. I did not think he was going to be a good Batman, but I came into it open-minded, enjoyed it. He really good at changing my mind on it.
Yeah, I came into this movie assuming that it was going to be horrific.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because it wasn't. So, yay!
Right, yeah, I mean, the Batmobile, that was the part I wanted to see because very old muscle car feel to it.
Right, yeah. Makes you feel like you could actually have one.
Right, yeah.
I just got to figure out what that flux capacitor thing was on the back.
Right, and all the tie-ins, the nice little Easter eggs, like the 66 Batman with the Shakespeare bust in there, like, it just one of those things, non-spoiler kind of Easter egg, but it's like, yeah, that's a nice little callback to the roots of the television and everything.
Yeah, man. What was your absolute favorite part?
Let's see. Besides the really awesome muscle car style Batmobile, just really how well Pattinson carries himself in it, because it's a far departure from Twilight Sparkle Princess.
I said a while ago that one of my favorite parts is when the parachute fell, but
yeah, that I think got everyone laughing.
But when he ran out and you could see that he was actually kind of scared of the heights.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a nice little thing to add in there, just kind of humanize Batman.
Yeah, you got to humanize him just a tad.
Right. I mean, you can't go too OP with it. I mean, obviously with Green Arrow and my respect or love of that character, so I'm kind of hoping they do and to bring some more of the more humanized characters in, introducing this version of the DC universe.
All right, well, I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Now, what'd you think about the movie?
I really liked it. They did a good job of like making it a starting point, but also explaining a lot of things for people that may not be that used to the Batman universe and a lot of the ins and outs of that. One of the things that I really enjoyed that they did is they focused a lot on like character interactions and not focusing too much on like action and stuff like that. I felt like they probably cut more out than they probably should have in the action points. But as far as like the character interactions and the character development, I really enjoyed that. The Batmobile was really cool. I really liked the ending sequence where Batman comes in and he blows out the whole like skylight and comes down. That was really cool. I felt like they were really holding back on him showing too many of his gadgets until he got to that point. But once he kind of like blew the whole ring, that was really, really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, man, it was really cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out here and let me know. Oh, come on, be Randon.
Actually, I'm not here with these fellas. I came from next door at the picking competition, and let me tell you something right now. I'm going to win that first prize blue ribbon. Thank you.
So I really enjoyed it. I think it brought like a real old school noir detective movie feel to it with the narration and everything.
Absolutely.
And it definitely had elements of the old 30s show with Adam West, with the focusing more on the gadgets than the actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
it
his.
It felt more like an Adam West film than a Christian Bale.
I love
rerun.
I love his gauntlets.
Yes.
Where they just have everything instead of the tool belt, it's the gauntlets.
Right.
It's a different take, and he doesn't carry a ton of batarangs either. He just has the one in his chest.
Because you got to imagine that at a certain point, this is like the more world's greatest detective Batman instead of, hey, I'm the best martial artist in the world. I'm going to fight everybody until the problem's resolved.
Absolutely.
Want to appreciate greatly getting to see the movie tonight a day before from El Dorado, Arkansas. That was so awesome. It was great. There was some plot twists that I really didn't expect, and I thank you guys so much. Gabe's Cave, y'all check them out.
So listen, no movie's perfect, but it's a fantastic movie. Go see it. Enjoy it.
Support your local theater.
Use the bathroom before you go into the movie.
Yep.
Make sure you hit the bathroom because you don't want to miss anything. Everything in the movie is important, so you don't want to miss it.
It pretty much is.
And just enjoy it. Get some popcorn and enjoy it.
Yep. We don't want to bore you anymore. We do hope we gave you enough to make you want to go out and see it and to understand that we did enjoy it. But we're going to go right into what we do best, and that is give some stuff away.
Steve Crockett. I know you guys entered for Steve Crockett, the throwback Garbage Pail Kid style. I know you guys were really excited about that, so we're going to give that away right now. Congratulations to the winners and the last place who got the loot box.
Man, y'all really looking out with these loot boxes. If y'all haven't seen the unboxing videos where people have been unboxing our loot boxes, nice stuff.
They are loving the swag, I'm telling you.
And you know, the only way to keep giving stuff away is to let people meet some more people.
Well, let's meet Michael Mastermaker.
Welcome to this week's Meet the Artist.
This week, we have Mike Mastermaker. Welcome, Mike.
Yes, thanks for having me. Good job.
Just want to say these are fantastic cards this week that you've sent to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
For our awesome viewers. Just stellar work. You really lived up to your last name, Mastermaker.
Thank you very much.
I hope you've heard that before. Anyway,
I did actually once in a Star Wars card forum. Someone posted, I don't know why he calls himself Mastermaker. I wasn't all that impressed, and I had to log on and tell them, no, that's my actual name. Like, I didn't. It's not a tag. That's like my actual name. They were surprised. So
it's definitely a name you're proud to put on a plaque. I would say that. Just fantastic cards. I guess First off, Gabe, which one's your favorite?
I love the Shipwreck and the Vincent Price. I like both of them.
Thank you.
I do like Hoggle, and of course, and I also like Flash Gordon. We were talking about that off camera. That you're so used to seeing the Sam Jones version of Flash Gordon. A more modern one, but the old school one, that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up in New York, and on Saturday afternoons, I grew up on a pretty steady diet of Flash Gordon and Godzilla movies on Channel 11. Anyone of my age that kind of grew up in this area is totally familiar with it. They used to put on monster movies and then horror movies. Not horror movies in the modern sense, hence Vincent Price and Peter Cushing. And those things just sort of had an effect on my artistic sensibilities and what I do. Plus, I'm a big fan of the Flash Gordon original comic strip, the Alex Raymond thing. So I love the fact that like Flash Gordon could like fly a spaceship one day and fight a dinosaur with a sword the next day. There's just something so cool about that there wasn't really any limits. And Star Wars, Star Wars is directly related to that, it inherited all of that, and that's the kind of sci-fi I like. So more space fantasy than like hardcore science fiction. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. You could definitely see the inspiration of Flash Gordon and Dune in the Star Wars universe.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I love Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. I love Brian Froud, and those movies were huge. Like changed for me as a kid. I saw them in the theater, and I was completely blown away. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because now we have CG worlds that we could build from scratch. But the idea that like there were no human actors in The Dark Crystal, and you were seeing all these like this whole mythological land on camera was just mind blowing to me. I couldn't believe it.
Anyways, let's get to the art. Obviously they're very detailed.
I love the style. It reminds me of like a Borderlands kind of thing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I see a lot of use of the the different angles of the head, different portrait styles. I guess the first thing we want to go into is the tools of the trade. What kind of pencils? You use markers.
Yeah, I do. I primarily use lead holders for my initial drafting and mechanical pencils. My glasses are all like the headphones mess up your glasses, so my head just isn't normally that crooked. I'm just going to take them off because I don't need them anyway. Mostly lead holders, so 2mm lead, usually HB grade is my favorite to do my drafting with. Those that kind of know me know I'm all about inking. The ink work is my absolute favorite part. So I kind of pencil as quickly as possible to get it out of the way. And then I use usually rapidographs, which are a type of technical pen that I use, and they're made by a company called Rotring is the ones that I use, or Rotring. They're really, really thin metal nibbed pens, and if I can't use those, I use Pilot High-Tech G4s, a .18 or a .225 milliliter, which is like a really, really, really thin line. And I do that's where you can see like all the hatching on the cards and the line work. That's where I spend a majority of my time, to be honest with you. I just love the feeling of a pen on paper. It's like my favorite thing. It's like I love drawing, and that's a major reason why I love drawing. And then after that, I use a variety of sort of stiff brush pens. Again, usually Pilot. I'm a big fan of Pilot's product. Occasionally I use Kuretake. And then I use a Pentel Pocket brush, like an actual brush pen for the thicker lines around the outside. I color almost entirely with Copic markers, mainly because they're refillable. I don't know if you can see behind me on the shelf behind me. I'm like above my drafting table. Those are my markers that are up there. So I'm kind of like highly invested. Those it's the opposite side. Those right there. Those are all my markers above my drafting table. So those are mostly Copic. Occasionally, I use a little white acrylic paint for the highlights, or a Posca paint pen. And then at the end, sometimes a little colored pencil if I need it, just to sort of like get some more highlights or some more blends, depending on the paper stock. Your card stock was great, so I really didn't have to do much of that at all. Occasionally, you get card stock that's very sort of like grainy and sandpapery, and it doesn't love dark markers for blending. So I have to go in with some colored pencil to smooth it out. But this was really smooth sailing. The stock took marker beautifully. So thank you. And then at the end, I spray it with a UV varnish to protect it so that they won't fade in sunlight. And it makes it, a little bit more resistant to scratches and scuffs. And it just basically seals the whole thing so that the card can't be, it makes it a little bit more durable. Marker, I don't know if I'm sure you guys know, marker is not like archival safe. So over time, it does break down, especially in light, if you don't spray it with some sort of varnish. And over the years, I've started really dedicating it. Unfortunately, it's like super toxic, and my studio is in a basement, so I have like a little gas mask that I wear when I spray them, and then I go upstairs and let them sort of sit, so you're not breathing that in. And that's basically it from like start to finish. Like the pencil aspect I do as quickly as possible. For likenesses, I usually use calipers to measure the distance between the eyes, nose, and mouth to make sure I kind of shapes I'm okay with. It's always proportions that are the hardest to capture for portrait work, but after years of doing it, you kind of get used to it. And I've drawn some of those faces. I've drawn more times than I care to admit, especially Peter Cushing and Boris Karloff. Although usually Karloff I draw as Frankenstein's monster, but I wanted to do it's from the movie The Body Snatcher, which is an early Karloff picture. I wanted to do him without the makeup because I think he's got a great face and he's kind of fascinating to me. So they're all kind of like my favorite actors and things. That's very rarely does anybody say to us, just draw what you want. So I was like, yeah, all right. I couldn't wait. As soon as they arrived, I tore into them. I had a great time. And I think you can tell when artists have a great time doing the work because I think it comes through. Definitely for those of us sketch card artists that do probably 2,000 cards a year. to do a handful that are just basically completely up to us is a real treat.
Yeah, it really shows in the cards, just the level of experience.
Yeah,
the hashing, the proportions, just everything looks just completely on point, and you can tell that you really mastered the craft. So,
thank you.
That's really fantastic. I guess the next thing is we want to see what kind of upcoming projects you have going on. Is there anything you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I worked on Star Wars Masterworks and Bounty Hunters, which got pushed back due to the pandemic, but they're set to release in February now, tentatively. So we'll see about that. Did a lot of work for Marvel Allure from Upper Deck, and that set's coming out pretty soon. I did about 3 rounds of that. I worked on the DC Crisis on Infinite Earths for Cryptozoic, and that set is finally due. I worked on that a while ago and did 2 rounds of that, which is based off the CW DC shows. And that set is finally coming out, I think within the month. If it's not out already, I actually have to check them. So it's so many sets, it's like hard to keep track of. I also worked on a Middle Earth set that should be out later this year from Cryptozoic, which I was really proud of the work I did on that, and that was based off the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit films. The cardstock was beautiful, and I was really happy with the results. And I've done a lot of work for R.R. Parks cards in the way of Ultraman, the first ever North American release of an Ultraman card set, which was very, very successful. And we were sort of working on Series 2 as well. And I'm doing, just finished up some work for Typhoon in the way of sort of like dark forest fable fantasies. And I'm working on a bunch of sets for Infinity coming up in the next year. Right now I'm doing just a couple of cards for Cheerleaders vs. Zombies. I did a lot of Vampirella cards for Infinity. They're a great indie company. I really enjoy working for a lot of the independent companies. They've been really great to me. I really can't complain. They supply you with steady work and nice deadlines. I mean, I love doing the Star Wars work. I've worked on every set since the 40th anniversary of A New Hope, other than one. So that's been great and just super rewarding. But I'm excited. I have a lot of sets coming up. People keep saying you're going to get burnt out of cards, but like it's what I do. Even in my own time, I always have like 4 or 5, private things that I just do to warm up. It really is my preferred method of working. I like working small. It preserves the marker, and they're quick, which I kind of enjoy. It doesn't take a long-term commitment because I'm sure you guys too. It's just life is busy. So it's hard to sit down at the drafting table and start an illustration that's going to take 12 hours, where a sketch card could take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, and it's a much smaller commitment, which I definitely appreciate.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you coming on. If anyone's looking to get a commission from you or want some work from you, how can they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of Warp Zone Graphics, like Warp Zone, like Mario Brothers, WARP Zone, ZONE graphics.com. I have an online web store that right now the only thing up there is commissions. And then I have, you can contact me via Facebook. I'm Mike Mastermaker on Facebook, and Warp Zone Graphics. It's the same thing. It's what I used to use when my friend Eric and I used to do conventions. We used to do it under Warp Zone Graphics, and that's also my Instagram handle. So anyone can sort of private message me or give me a shout about cards, especially card commissions, because again, those are the easiest for me to do right now. I think I have sketch covers and some larger commissions up on what is essentially an Etsy page in warpzonegraphics.com. But that's the easiest way to get a hold of me, for sure. Social media.
All right, we appreciate you coming on, Mike.
It's my pleasure. Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Like I said, it was a lot of fun, and it's great that you do this with the artists. And I know a lot of the artists you've worked with, and they're a bunch of great guys and gals, and they're my colleagues, and I love them to death. So everybody enjoys it and speaks really highly of it. And the banner is beautiful. I can't tell you how much it was such a nice thing to come home to. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I know our viewers are looking forward to it. Thanks once again, Mike.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
You do.
And And welcome back, Cave Maniacs. We really hope you enjoyed that interview with Michael Mastermaker. Really cool cards. We have them right here, as a matter of fact.
Amazing cards. True, the last name is just a true Mastermaker.
Mastermaker. I said that's an awesome name.
And it's not fake. That's his real name.
It's not.
It's not stage name.
It is not.
It's all good.
I'm going to make my Nasty Mastermaker. Uncle Nasty Mastermaker.
But if you want to win those amazing cards, you need to make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment. Go into the description, hit the link in the description, fill out the form, and you will be entered to win Michael Mastermaker's cards and possibly a loot box.
That's right. That's right. And let's thank our sponsor one more time. That is RPGhiring.com. None of this is possible without those guys. They are building people and they are changing lives. Final thoughts. Woo! That's right. And Gabe said to make sure that you guys knew that he thought the cape was junk. He didn't like the cape.